Okay, we can start. Maybe you can join to our discussion.
Please.
You can sit here.
So which countries? I see India.
India,
South Africa.
Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
China.
okay, all countries here.
All countries here. Okay, very nice.
Okay, our online participant is here.
Это на галерку. Вероника, уточни, эти подключены?
Okay, we can start. At the first, I want to read our resolution, Creative Industries. You can see it on screen. The United Nations has declared 2021 the International Year of the Creative Economy for Sustainable Development. Together with the entire world community, we know the high importance of supporting the creative industries as a key and most promising sector of the modern economy. We embrace the special role of youth in the formation of creative industries as a promising direction for the economy of the BRICS countries. Due to the high share of employment of young people in this sector, as well as in connection with the need to develop a personal resource of creative industries for their intensive development in the future. We call on the government of the BRICS countries to create comprehensive conditions for the development of creative industries and support for specialized youth initiatives by creating for necessary infrastructure, supporting education and science, as well as helping to organize international humanitarian cooperations for young communication in this area. We welcome the creation of a publicly assemble physical infrastructure for youth activities in the creative industries. The opening of youth art residence, creative space and co-working spaces. We know the need for systematic development of professional and additional education in the field of design, architecture, advertising, fashion, the article, visual, cinematographical and music arts, computer games and other areas for the creative economy in the BRICS countries. We call on the government for the BRICS countries to create a system of international cooperation and exchange of experience for communities of young creative industries, holding an unusual youth forum of creative industries, professional internships and exchange training progress at universities in all countries of the five association. We know the need to implement projects in the field of creative industries aimed at maintaining environmental stability and achieving sustainable development goals. Okay, maybe someone have questions about our resolution? Okay.
I think my suggestion is that under the last, right? We call the government BRICS to create a substantial international cooperation, right? Well, it's only a suggestion, but it's cool to have a system, but I think have a financial system about it, because it's right, you have a system, but how we can come for the conference, I think a financial systems can, not a financial system like a loan, but like a stipendium. I think it's, for me, I don't see this word. It's like I forgot the word in English, sorry, but well, stipendium, like this.
Okay. So you suggest to include the world to finance, yes, this program. Yes. Okay, guys, I'd like you to understand that our goal is to discuss this document, and we have a nice chance to give our government a document which we One second. Yes, implemented. It's a unique chance. So we now we want to listen your suggestions. These suggestions we mark, okay, and when we make a final document, okay, with your suggestions. So about finance, it's okay. We will include it.
May I please add something? I would like to discuss the content. Well, I would like to emphasize on the exchange programs which have been mentioned, and basically the content of them. Development comes it comes from the productivity growth. But in South Africa, for example, we are rich in culture. We are rich in creatives. But that's all we have. But not that that's all we have. But I feel like I would like to suggest that.
What about diamonds?
Yeah, of course. But given the fact that we are rich in the creative industry, from there, where do we go? So I feel like when it comes to exchange programs, the content, some of the content could be based on business, where we could have some skill sharing, where, for example, like China could exchange some knowledge on how to grow their business, how to even start up their business. So I feel like that could be added to the program.
Exchange programs in the
and
sphere.
Skill sharing.
Exchange programs in the sphere of our theme. Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Maybe online participant have questions.
Hello.
We hear you.
Yes. I actually would love to share something happened in Chinese fashion industry. And in China, I think like main users and clients of fashion and entertainment industries are young people, and the consumption power becomes stronger than before. Like young people understand young people better, so the appliers and designers of products need young people as well to vibrate the market. To also improve the innovation practice and to output the new value system according to the future trends. In China, like more and more young designers would love to express themselves by using like Chinese cultural elements, not only in those traditional ways, but also in modern or postmodern ways. And these have also been quite popular in other countries, I believe. Actually, I'm glad to see that the sustainability has been pushed forward in Chinese younger generation, not only in the aspect of environment, but also taken place in social relations and human subjectivity. Current ecological movements certainly have merit, I think, but in truth, I think that the overall ecosophical questions is too important to be left to some of its usual archiver or folklorists. For example, sustainable T-shirt decorated with the surrealism pattern express the urgent need of fresh air and the problem of global warming, and also the individualities. The material they used for clothes has been evolved to a more sustainable way as well. And young designers collaborated with those traditional embroideries and silkworm braiding industries that help the employment of the poverty area as well. This is a good example for the coordinations between poverty alleviation and soft innovation development. Actually, there's another example is last month in Wuhan. I'm not sure if you heard of Wuhan. It's the very serious COVID-19 place in the beginning of this year. And the biggest social event after COVID-19 has just happened in Wuhan, which is Wuhan Fashion Week. That helps a lot in recovering the economics from COVID-19 and boosting the consumption in Wuhan. I think China is always the supporter of multicultural cooperation, and the cultural and economic communication constantly happened in the history of China. The implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative from the government shows the determination of China to strengthen the cooperation with other countries. I suggest that more creative platforms shall be established among BRICS countries that can support the chemistry between young and creative people and broaden their network in terms of human and capital resources. For example, we can hold something like a BRICS Fashion Week or Film Festival. These can give more practical opportunities of cultural communication, sharing of resources. Yes, that's my idea. Thank you.
BRICS Fashion Week. What are what are you thinking about it? Yes,
Of course.
Okay, thank you. She said exactly what about you said. Okay, exchange experience. China has its own experience. You have its own experience. India and so on. Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe some more questions.
Yeah, hi. I have one suggestion or a kind of question that as all countries present here are well developed and fast growing countries, but as I can see or as my experience, Brazil and South Africa, there are between Brazil, South Africa and India, there is very less exchange, cultural exchange between us, and I think so we all have a very rich cultural heritage. And why it's so? Cultural exchange is very less between Brazil and South Africa and India.
So improve cultural change.
Yes.
Brazil and
South Africa.
Yes.
Okay, maybe online participant.
Yeah. How can an artist, young artist, incorporate in creative industries? Any new project is launching for the exchange program for the artist, young artist?
Include if I correctly understand you, you suggest to include the theme about young artists in this document. Yes.
Yeah.
Question. Okay, our document now there is some place for artists. Okay, we almost include them.
Okay, I would like to add.
Not almost, but already include them.
Is it possible to have another proposition?
Of course.
Hello, sorry for not turning on the video. I have internet connection problems. I'm Nina Ladigina Glazanova from Russia, and I have a proposition. The SCO countries have a youth council that coordinates and connects young people and their proposition on different topics. The BRICS countries could also have a youth council or a volunteer association of BRICS youth to help solve the problems that we have even in creative industries, in many different spheres. Like in creative industries, we could use our volunteer help, not only offline, but online, because we could have online exhibitions, online lectures, online many different ways of communicating and helping our colleagues in other countries. And also finding funds and financing projects of cultural sphere in our countries by crowdfunding, using volunteer help in that could be organized on a platform, on some kind of a platform that would use volunteer help. That would.
Thank you very much. This platform is this platform is already done, or we need to develop it?
I think we need to develop it because in all our countries we have different funding platforms and we have many volunteer organizations that already work, but we don't have any connection between them. And we need a mutual platform that would unite all of us.
This is platform, this is Facebook, you know. Okay, okay. So this is online platform and different education content in it, and exhibition and others and others and others, contexts and so on. Yes. Okay.
It's mostly for, not just for exhibitions, it's for uniting different projects, for uniting people from our countries to help to solve their ideas and grow them and to make them alive, not just in one country and make them international. Because we have many projects. We even have film festivals. We have even BRICS film festivals. We have fashion festivals of the BRICS countries, but not all the participants or young people in other countries know about them. There's a big problem of communication. We need one place to have all of that accumulated.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay, maybe we have another proposal.
Yes, I have a proposal. I have a proposal.
Okay, you can start.
Okay. I am
please introduce yourself, okay? Introduce yourself, okay?
Yeah. I'm Tembiso Dabula from South Africa. And one of the points I'd like to speak to is criteria. So what normally happens, I've heard you speaking about exchange programs focusing on university students who are already studying art or who are already in the creatives. So in South Africa, you'll find that they are not only in the university space, but we have skills development centers where we have creatives, because most of the time, the people who get to varsity are people who are academically gifted and people who qualify to be there. But I'd like for us to enlarge the criteria to even include the people who exist in skills development centers and not only focus on the exchange programs in the university level. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if I may add, the first proposition which was started by my colleagues from South Africa and which was further added on by our colleague from China and by our colleague from Russia, she said the most important part of it was that knowledge of the events which BRICS is doing is not being made as aware as it should be to the participants or potential participants. That is a problem which I think we need to address. And more on that, we told about the exchange of experiences. So I think there's a supply and demand aspect to this, which we can address if we make that knowledge part into it. If I may use the example of football. So India and China are both trying to develop the footballing ecosystem in our countries at the moment. Brazil and Russia are two very well-established footballing countries with a lot of history and a lot of experience in it. But if I want to search for experience or talent from Russia or Brazil, I don't have that opportunity directly from Russia. Or if a Brazilian or Russian wants to play in one of our leagues, he has to go through a long process of finding a club and all that other things which are required, but it could be made easier. And if we bring this to other creative industries like art, music, fashion, so that the supply, which is in one country, is made aware to the people who have the talent and the experience in another country, this movement of talent can be made much easier. And that applies for events and all the things that we have been proposing in this meeting.
Do you see how technically realize your suggestion? If this is online platform or
yes, like through an online platform form, where you can filter down what experience you have or what you have to offer, and the person who wants to use your experience or your talent can find it as easily in that platform. So that would be the most effective way to approach this problem or the situation.
Thank you. In microphone, because...
oh, yeah. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but a very key point, it is to advertise it properly, because, you know, everything exists, like plans, development plans, maybe plans through BRICS, government plans in the country, but advertisement is the key, which is lacking. And like... a lot of people are not even aware of it, which is sad. I mean, even if the things are available, people don't have access to it, or maybe they don't have knowledge about it. So advertisement is like very important.
So you're talking about marketing, yes?
Yeah. So that it reaches to people, common people.
You see, our suggestions separates on offline content and online content. Yes, now online content, this is micro platform in which education, exhibition, all we discussed, and offline. And what about offline? Do you have some suggestion about offline communication, or events, or something?
So I want to add something here about cinematography. So as we all know that Bollywood...
About what?
About cinematography.
Cinema.
Yeah. So as we all know that India is quite famous for Bollywood. Here is quite famous around the world. But the thing is, India all the time goes to Western countries, for example, UK, US, France, and so on, right? Because they want to shoot their movie in those countries only. And you see the effect of that. Most of the Indians, they only emphasize, they only prefer only those countries which they see in the movies. So what we need to do exactly is that we have to create a platform where our Indian Bollywood movie director, producer, will join this BRICS platform through which they can show not only Indian culture to BRICS countries, as well as they would shoot their movies in BRICS countries, and they will bring those audience to India as well, which will increase the tourism, first of all. Second, education as well. Third, employment. For example, if Indian Bollywood, like some director had decided to shoot a movie in Russia, for example, right? So he needs equipment, he needs artists, he needs a lot of things, stuff, right? So he has to come to Russia to invest something, right? At the same time, he will bring a lot of audience to India as well. So for maybe in future, Russians will also go to India to shoot their movies as well, right? So it would be the biggest platform, and it will really make easy for all of us to advertise exactly what we need, what we are talking about offline, I mean.
In the 1980s, in the end of 1980s and in the beginning of 1990s, in Russia, Indian Bollywood, very famous, and the Midhan Chakraborty and so on. That's why it's very interesting suggestion.
Okay, please can you see on screen? Let's read the most important spheres, and maybe we have create some new offers or proposals. Okay. For example.
Yeah, I said that. May I add something here? Like, for example, if we talk about the sectors which were mentioned here, we note the need for systematic development of professional and additional education in the field of design and so on, right? So we can also add here IT as well. So because India is quite famous around the world for IT. There are a lot of programmers, not only in India, but also in Russia as well. So we can also work in the field of this as a major sector.
We add IT.
Okay, about IT, maybe another proposal. Okay, let's try another themes. For example, maybe you have ideas about architectural. Maybe online, but. Okay, maybe for our conference we create another spheres.
Excuse me, may I? Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I want to add something about, so we have talked too much about how to use the advantages and the experience, effective experience of other countries, so that we can improve the additions in our own countries. And I want to add that, so how can we practically turn this experience and the advantages into effective tool? And I want to take example is that the social application. So I think that the social application has become the trend of the modern internet development. So why I have said that? I want to say that as all we know that the social application TikTok is, although it's now limited in the world internet, in the world market due to the sanction of the United States, but it's still very popular in the whole world. And I want to say that, so what TikTok really bring the Chinese teenagers, so what Chinese teenagers get the advantages from the TikTok is that we use it to realize a loss of things and a loss of activities through this social application. For example, the the delivery through the live broadcast, and we also make it to make some advertisements. And what's more is electronic commerce, which we call e-commerce nowadays. So what I want to emphasize is that we can actually do something like multilateral, like not only in China, but also we can have a group and create a common platform, so that we can have more communication and more suggestions together so that we can do not only for one country but for more countries. For example, we can have a discussion about how to use social application with more cultures. For example, about the festivals of other countries, so we can have more people to attract on it. And what about more economics? You know, in nowadays, lots of teenagers, they want to do lots of things to the new company. They want to create a new company, but they need a platform. They need more sources. So what we can offer is that we can create, and maybe in the beginning not create but use the social application. And the next step is already create a new the platform to let more and more teenagers express their own suggestions for improving the effective additions, such as what I said. So that's all. Do you have any questions? I'm glad to listen. Thank you.
I don't understand. You suggest to develop new application or to use current application?
I think that we can use the application now and for finding more common interests.
I think it is this theme you suggestion is near. We talk about marketing previously, and social applications is the weapon of modern warfare of marketing. You know, so it's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry. Can I just speak?
Please. Yes.
My name is João Pedro. I'm from Brazil, and I would like to suggest a football championship between country BRICS. For example, the champions of the national championship. Commands, да? The national championships of each country, of India, of China, of Brazil, of each country would participate in the BRICS football championships. Thank you.
And I understand. Brazil suggests football, maybe hockey.
in India too.
Yeah,
India too.
I like to add to that. If I can just give a few examples of how powerful this sort of diplomacy is. In 1955, the Soviet Union came and toured India, and they played in a lot of stadiums. And I come from a small city in the south of India. But people, like my grandfather, still remember that team. It had Edward Streltsov, Lev Yashin, and it was like one of the best teams in the world at that time. And that team is still remembered. And East Bengal came and played in Moscow in 1953, and against Torpedo Moscow. And that match and that event is still remembered. Another example, Pele came and played in India, I think in the 70s, I'm not sure the year, when he played for New York Cosmos. And that sort of made the people connect more than anything diplomatically done at that point of time. So I would like to support my colleague João Pedro and suggest a sporting event of this like which is exclusive to BRIC countries. And it should be rotated each year in a different country so that the fans of that country can get to see for themselves. It might not be just football. It can be like expanded to other sports too. And I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
And can I?
Thank you. You want to continue?
Yes, yes. And I think what we will open the borders for defense to tourism with the the championship BRICS.
We understand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice suggestion, but our theme is creative economy. But if football plus tourism, maybe it is creative economy. We will add this suggestion. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But I see in future we can see the football games Zenit with Santos. Maybe another one? Okay.
Okay. Distinguished leaders and dear friends, I am a university student from Shanghai Jiao Tong University in China, and my major is cultural and creative industry. So I have a proposal about the university activities, because I noticed that in the last meeting, there is someone mentioned that the university, we should incorporate more culture, diverse culture in the universities. But I noticed in the proposal, the point about the university is not so highly stressed out. In the last two paragraphs, you mentioned that we should set up exchange training programs among the universities. But I think this point should be separately listed, because young generation, especially the college students, are those with high education, full of passion, and with more free time to access the diverse culture and to communicate the culture. So I think this point should be separately stressed out. And apart from this one, I think in the university we can also establish some cross-national, like global student association or student union, like ISIC or anything else, to encourage the student to exchange more ideas with each other. And also some practical projects like workshops or exchange study program should be built. And in addition, I think the cross-national forums among the BRICS countries to encourage the students or the professors to encourage them to propose more academic insights and to promote the communication among the academic press should be encouraged. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
Very nice and very deep suggestion. But don't forget, this is a political document. It must be short. It must be short. And we maintain the importance of university development, of students' exchanges, and so on and so on. And we'll try to separate it. But it must be short. This document must be short. It's a problem.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I have one more suggestion about publication house. So as I know, like there are a lot of like unions around the world, but they don't have their publication house which unite the entire union together. So what I can suggest here, like we can create a publication house which will unite a lot of universities around BRICS, where a lot of creative students belonging to research, they can publish their research articles, documents, and so on, which will really help to unite all together on the platform of BRICS, and which will be going to be the open access to each and every student. That's what my suggestion.
So it's science, yes?
it's not only science, like
scientific publication or not?
Not scientific. Like, for example, there are a lot of students who are studying in design, architecture, advertising, fashion, and so on, right? So they study, they do research, actually. They have their own point of views. So what they do, they can also write articles, yeah? What exactly they think on different several topics. So what they can do, they can directly publish their article on BRICS, either with the help of their university, which would be the part of BRICS publication house, or directly to the BRICS publication house. And I think this is gonna be one of the biggest change in BRICS, because we don't have such thing at all. Of course, we have only on the government level. So, and at the end of the year, we know very well our government used to publish some details, right, about our countries. But if we talk about students, because our agenda is youth, right, we talk about students. So if we talk about students, we don't have anything else.
Thank you.
May I come in briefly?
Please.
Good afternoon, participants. Good afternoon, Chairperson. My name is Paul Mwakhelwa from South Africa. I think it has come out quite clearly that what we need is a platform to bring about creatives both from the supply and demand side to respond really to issues of economics, to issues of legalities, to issues of rights, of exchange programs, and so forth. My fear is if we begin to want to, and it's something that you've had, if we begin to want to really detail all of these things that we might want to come out of this sitting, might have a very long document. And the further we try and expand, the more we realize that we actually need more to cover. So I think what we need to come up with is to create, or perhaps on the declaration, just to have a statement that talks to creating a platform that will bring the demand and the supply side onto one platform to eradicate economic challenges, to eradicate socio-economic challenges, to talk to issues around legalities, so as to bring the creatives community into one platform. And really to answer on the issue of advertisement offline, it's something that one speaker also had spoken to. It's us really advocating that from different BRICS countries, we can have those links onto our university websites, we can have those links onto our department website once we've put that platform into play. Because if we are going to want to really label it individually, we might not finish this sitting. And the more we go into it, the more we realize we might have more to actually cover. But just to bring everyone that is involved in that platform, and really perhaps just to design the objectives of the platform so as to attract the relevant people onto the platform that we are trying to establish. Because it's quite clear that we need to create a platform where all the role players and stakeholders play a role in this. Thanks, Chair. That's basically my suggestion.
Thank you. All our participants maintain that we need a online platform, aggregate online platform. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have some last minutes, maybe another questions.
I think one thing about offline things, I think we need a space like a stab for BRICS and and all the cultures, but I think it's maybe so much. But well, for example, in Moscow we have a Center Cultural Ibero-American. It's with Spain for Spain, Portugal, Brasilia, and all the culture of Latin America. It's so good, very creative space with when I can meet older persons in the Latin America. And the also purpose, I think it's like my friend from India about the cinematography In Brazil, we have a platform. We have agents about cinema in São Paulo. It's Sampa Cine. And this have a platform like a Netflix, when you can buy films, Brazilian films, little price, it's less $1. And you can find a lot of independence, young youth, and a lot of other films. I think we can create and this platform, with this platform and the BRICS. I would like to see Bollywood films. I really like. I like so much.
Thank you. And also in Russia in 2000 was very popular Brazilian TV serials. You know, all women watch it, and it was very famous, very famous. Thank you. And I have also one suggestion. It arrived in our discussion. It's about BRICS university campus development and to integrate youth in it. Because you said about creative spaces. Yes, but these creative spaces, they can be in the universities. In such universities who integrates or in which students from BRICS educated. And my suggestion is that to make a work group of BRICS universities campus development and how integrate students in it. Exchange practices, exchange minds, and so on. How we can build our universities more comfortable, more practice, more relaxing, and so on and so on. Because I was in China, I was in India, and our partners showed me their universities, their spaces, and I was very. It was. I was pleased. I was very surprised and pleased because the high level of these universities and the spaces. What are you thinking about it? BRICS University Campus Development.
I really would like we found friends for BRICS and the cousin. I think if we have a structure for this, MGU have a structure for this, a lot of universities have structure for this, but I think we need to reinforce, and I think this is an emergent space. We need this. I think I would like really.
Of course, not only in Moscow, but in all cities where students from BRICS studied.
Could I interrupt?
Not only in Kazan, in Omsk, in Yekaterinburg, in Ульяновск, and so
on. Could I interrupt for a second? We already have a BRICS network university, and it has universities that are included in it in each BRICS country. It's about
We have a problem with connection.
To 12 universities. There are groups that work. There were groups that work on BRICS studies in different spheres in these universities, and they could be the hosts of this working group. We already have this network, but we don't use it. That's the problem. We can use this network university.
It's very interesting. And can you one more time, this BRICS network university?
Network university. It's already a working platform, a group of universities that work in the BRICS countries that are united in one university. They have different working groups on IT, on ecology, on BRICS studies. I myself graduated this year from St. Petersburg State University, which works in this network university. It's a part of it. And I graduated in BRICS studies. it's my profession as a BRICSologist. And we don't cooperate. Yes, I'm a professional BRICSologist. It's in my diploma, said like that.
Very nice.
And there's a big problem of communication. We have a network university, but there's very little communication between them. If we give a new life to that network university that unites already many universities, then we can use this platform as a start for the ideas that were discussed today.
Where we can find information about this network?
BRICS Network University in any browser.
In any browser, yes?
Yeah. And also the National Committee on BRICS Studies knows about the BRICS Network University.
Can you introduce yourself, please? We don't see you.
Nina Ladygina-Glazunova from Russia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we tomorrow form final resolution, and now already 5 p.m. We can go to another sections. I think we ended. Maybe another questions.
Thank you very much, guys. Вы нас сейчас можете сфотографировать? Хорошо? Все вместе. Let's make some photo, okay? Где лучше? Вы нас можете поставить, расположить?